Hey, let's talk about this thing called algebra and what it is, why we'd use letters in maths instead of just all numbers. So let me ask you this question. How many hairs are there on your head? Now, there is an answer. I just don't know what the answer is. I guess I could count them, but it would be really hard and it would take a long time. Because I don't know what the answer is, I'm just going to use a letter to stand in for whatever it is. So we're going to use the letter H to stand in for hairs, H for hairs. So I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to call it H. Okay, and when we do that, when we use a letter to stand in for a number, we call that letter a pronumeral. Right? Now, if you went ahead and plucked out one hair on your head, now how many do you have? Well, you have H minus 1. So the H that we started with minus the one we plucked out. So we say we've got H minus 1 hairs on our head. Now see how easy that was to use the letters to represent something we don't know. So there's two times we might use letters in algebra. Okay, when we've got a number that we don't know, or if there's a number that constantly changes or it varies. Okay, so for example, let's say a pizza delivery person gets paid $3 for every pizza that they deliver. How much do they earn in one shift? Well, you can't really answer that because you don't know how many pizzas they're going to deliver in every shift. It will vary, it will change. So it varies every shift. So this time we're going to use a letter just to represent the number of pizzas. Let's use P because that makes sense, P for pizzas. So I'm going to use the letter P to represent the number of pizzas. So their pay for the shift will be $3 times P, because P is how many pizzas. Okay, so $3 for every one of those. And you can see I've created a little equation there that their pay is 3 times P. So we've used a letter. This time we're going to call it a variable. So you might hear them referred to as variables because that's a letter where the value changes or it varies. And the pronumeral that we talked about. That's it. That's your intro to algebra and why we might want to use letters to represent numbers. Well done.